Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize, simplify, and accelerate the growth of their new or existing weight loss practice. I'm your host, Karol Clark, and today's episode is all about something that most weight loss practices think they really have dialed in, but often I find as I do assessments that they really don't, and it's their patient pipeline. So if you want to move from really having a slow lane to having a busier schedule or even potentially a wait list, stick with me because I'm going to give you 3 fixes for your pipeline that I find are really working now with the various practices that I work with across the US. If your schedule isn't full or if you're consistently chasing leads or you feel like you are, you've likely got a pipeline problem. And this is one of the things that can make a huge difference. The issue isn't always marketing. Sometimes it's what happens after the marketing that after somebody shows interest from your marketing. So they click your ad, they visit your website, they hear about you, they search you out on Google, they do all those sorts of things. And then what happens? If you're not converting these leads quickly, warmly, and consistently, then you're going to end up losing them. So here's where to look. The first place is your follow-up, and this involves your team. The second place is your education, and the third place is your conversion systems. You know, I'm all about systems. So let's talk a little bit about each of these. So the first one is following up, and you want to follow up with like frictionless flow. You want it to be something easy and very engaging for your patients. So speed and personalization both matter. The longer it takes you to respond to an inquiry, the less likely they're going to stick around. They continue to look. And you want to aim for the same day response if you can, ideally within an hour, which I know may seem unrealistic, but with current AI tools and chatbots and that sort of thing, you can customize that, train it, and then utilize your team for that personalized follow-up. But your follow-up system really needs to include a friendly call or text, not just an email. We have to reach out in many ways. Next, you want to look at a simple way for them to book, a way for them to get their questions answered and to get on your schedule. And then you want to have automated reminders that do feel human and make it really easy for them to have their consultation. Even better, if you can use some templates for your team with some key talking points when they're talking with potential patients, you want to do that. Remember, your team, as you know, is the voice of your brand. They create your reputation, so it's really important to know what they're saying. Fix number 2 is education that builds trust. I know a lot of people feel like there's so much education out there, they don't need more, but you don't want to just inform, you want to nurture them. A patient who's just gathering information today can be ready to commit sooner than you may think if they feel really supported and heard in terms of what they need. So here's what's working right now. A short email sequence, maybe just 3 to 5 that are spaced out that automatically go out to these patients that express interest. It explains what you offer, the benefits for them particularly, and what to expect every step of the way. You can include a link to a webinar or video with your physician or physicians talking about your services. And then you can also address some frequently asked questions, address those fears, bust those myths. And as a bonus tip, include a patient story or testimonial. Having that in there really builds trust faster than you may think, and definitely faster than facts alone. The third thing to do is have a conversion system that you can scale so that you can get lots of leads from different sources. They all come to one digital place and you can follow up easily. Because here's the thing, you shouldn't have to personally convert every single lead. You can automate a certain amount of this. Instead, create a defined process with these particular elements. First is a triage. Who in your team is going to be the one who's responding to what leads? It can't just be one person, because if they're off, you've got to still be following up these leads. Create, and especially initially or for new team members, you want to have some scripts so they're never just winging it on a call. They want to personalize it, yes, but they need to have that what's converting. And then track your conversion rate from inquiry to consult, and then of course then to procedure or obtaining your services. If you don't track it, you can't fix it. I look at this with so many practices every single month. We look at their conversion rates. We watch what they're doing. We look at where people might be falling through the cracks. But you want to know where those drop-offs are happening and so that you can plug those sort of leaks. So here's the takeaway for today. I like to keep these short and impactful, but a 3-part takeaway: just really respond faster and make sure it's personal. Secondly, educate consistently in a way that makes them feel heard and also shows them success so they can see themselves in that successful state. And then systematize that conversion. When you tighten this pipeline, you can increase your revenue without spending a lot more on ads or any more at all. You can actually move from that slow lane to a full schedule. So anyhow, I hope this has been helpful. If you'd like help building or auditing your pipeline, it's one of my favorite things to do. Please reach out to me or check out my many resources at weightlosspracticebuilder.com. You can also schedule time with me there. And if this episode has helped you, please share it with a colleague or leave a quick review. It helps way more than you know, just like you asked for that from your patients. So until next time, keep building that practice that you love, and take care.